One of my new print-on-demand students recently went from zero to over $140,000 in sales in just 6 months. In this episode, I'm gonna break down the strategy that they followed to amplify their sales and give you clarity on what really changed the game for their business and hopefully inspire you to take the imperfect action like they did and like you want and need to take. My name's Adrian Bonarks, and welcome to the Print on Demand Playbook Podcast. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. In this episode, I'm going to be breaking down the strategy that led one of my T-Shirt Legends Academy students to go from $0 in sales to over $140,000 in sales in just 6 months. But just before we get into it, as always, I want to shout out one of our amazing listeners. We're so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for all the kind reviews. And this is just our way of acknowledging you. We really appreciate it. So without further ado, this is a review from Miguel. And Miguel says, for months, I've been listening to episodes of the POD Playbook podcast, taking notes and applying the valuable insights I've gained. Thanks to the podcast, I was able to launch my website, create an Instagram account, and achieve several of my goals. However, wearing all the hats and trying to figure everything out on my own was challenging. It was a lonely road filled with a lot of questions. After some time, I decided to join T-Shirt Legends Academy, and now I no longer feel alone on this journey. I've become part of a group of like-minded entrepreneurs who share the same goal: to achieve financial independence while doing what we love. I've connected with other members, exchanging tips and ideas. The lessons and content are incredible, providing clarity on so many topics. And the cherry on top was the website review that Adrian and Carlos did for me. They pointed out several areas where I can improve my website to boost conversion rate. So I just wanted to publicly thank you for helping me move closer to my dream of having more time with my family. Man, thank you so much for those kind words, Miguel. Like our goals are very much aligned, and your goals are very much aligned with the others in the community. I mean, that's really what it is. It's about freedom. You know, we want freedom of time, freedom of location, freedom of finances, so that we can live life on our terms. So keep up the great work. Thank you for the review. We really appreciate you. And you are such a treat to have in the T-Shirt Legends Academy program and in the community. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into the breakdown. And I actually want to start out by giving you some context about the student who went from zero to over $140,000 in just 6 months. So this student actually launched their business in April of 2024, just a few weeks after joining T-Shirt Legends Academy. And in case you're not aware, T-Shirt Legends Academy, or TLA, is a training and coaching program created by my brother Carlos and I to help people build profitable businesses with Shopify and print on demand. So that is why TLA exists, to support people like you. And I actually want to share a message from this student that they shared. They actually posted this in our private TLA community for all of our members. And I think a lot of people were inspired by this. I mean, I know because a lot of people commented on it, but I hope that this inspires you too. So here's a message that they posted just a few months in, when they were really scaling up. And this was about, I think, June that they posted this. So they had only been live for a couple months. So here's what they say. My wife and I are new to the POD business, and when Adrian says all it takes is one winning design, that is the absolute truth. We officially opened our store in April, and on May 4th decided to see how Facebook ads would do for our store. We got very lucky because one of our designs blew up early. If not for Facebook ads, we would have never seen the growth that we have seen over the last month. If the process can work for us, it can work for anyone. I thought that was very inspiring. I know a lot of others did, and I hope that this inspires you as well, because it's always nice to see students who are new to the game, who are getting results and having success, right? So With that, a few other things I want to note just before we jump into the step-by-step strategy. First of all, as he mentioned in his message, they were new to print on demand. Secondly, this student and his wife both work full-time jobs. I know a lot of you listening, you're working full-time jobs too. And this is proof that you can make this work even with a full-time job. So I wanted to mention that. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was they did not have a large social media following when they surpassed $140,000 in sales. So they started at zero, just like everybody else. And around the time that they surpassed $140,000, get this, they had just 329 Instagram followers and around 2,000 Facebook subscribers or followers. This is proof that you do not need a large social media following to see success. I know some people, they believe that, they think that. That is a myth. That is a myth. I never had a big social media following when I was scaling up my brands. I always start at zero, just like everyone else. And when I did hit my winners, I had really small social media followings, just like this student here. That's the power of paid advertising and having a valuable email list, right? So, with that, now that you know those things about this, let's just jump in and break down this strategy. So I'm going to break down this strategy into 4 parts, and these actually align very well with the 4 core pillars that we teach in our T-Shirt Legends Academy program. So the first one is niche. Let's talk about what they did. First, they chose a profitable niche, and they created all of their products and content for that specific niche. That's it. That's all they create for. They don't create random content. They don't talk about their weekend. they just create content that educates, entertains, or inspires their ideal customer. And they also post some of their products to social media as well. So out of respect for them, I'm not going to share the niche or the brand. But what I will say is that it's a popular sport that many people are passionate about. And this student primarily sells t-shirts and apparel. I want you to know what their core product is. All right. So it's t-shirts and apparel. By far, their number one seller is t-shirts. All right. Again, another myth that you can't make sales with t-shirts. Debunked. All right. Now, kind of going on the theme of niche, I want to talk about, quote, niching down for a sec. This is a very important part of the strategy that I do teach in TLA. What you want to do is you always want to choose a niche and make it crystal clear who your brand serves and why it exists. This is not only a great way to differentiate from other brands, but it also lets your ideal customer know that this brand was made for them. And they have done an exceptional job with their website and with their social media, where there is no question. Immediately when you go to any of their social media or their website, you know exactly why this brand exists and who this brand serves. All right. This is very important. This is a very important part of the strategy. Now, when choosing their niche, this student followed what we call the 3 P's of niche selection to a T. So let me break that down. The 3 P's of niche selection are passion, proficiency, and profit. So let me break each of those down one by one, just so it's very clear and you understand. So first, passion. They chose a niche that they both are passionate about themselves. So he is very passionate about this niche, but also that there are many others that are also passionate about. All right. So passion on both ends. He's passionate and he has a passionate audience. All right. When it comes to proficiency, they chose a niche that they are knowledgeable in. Now, when it comes to your niche, you don't need a college degree. You don't need any specialized education, but generally you'll want to know more than the average person, right? Just so you can relate, the lingo, what people are talking about, what people are laughing about, all that sort of thing. It definitely helps to have some proficiency. And if you are passionate about it, you're very likely somewhat proficient in your niche as well. And then the third P of niche selection is profit. So they chose a niche that is very obviously profitable. Most sport niches are profitable. There are a number of other successful brands in this niche. They know who those brands are. And there's plenty of validation to show that those brands are absolutely crushing it in the niche, targeting a very similar ideal customer, a very similar audience. All right. So that was part one. Part two is they created a winning design. So as they shared in this message to the private TLA community, one of their designs blew up very early. We love that. That leads to really good things, right? Now, what I will say is it's actually quite unusual to see someone create a winning design within their first month of launching their brand. However, if you can do this and if you can market it effectively, you can absolutely amplify your sales very quickly and you can see a huge income spike in your business. That's what you want. Anytime you have a winning design, you want to amp that up and you want to get those big income spikes in your business. There are so many benefits, more than just the sales. It helps grow your social media faster. It helps collect emails. It helps you get more data on your audience that you can use to optimize and improve your ads moving forward. There are so many secondary benefits. It's also good to know that a lot of those people that buy one time from the ad, if you are marketing to them effectively, for example, through email marketing, a lot of them are going to come back and buy a second time if they're happy with the original purchase, if you have products that resonate with them, right? Not only that, a lot of the emails, what you're going to find is that you're going to collect more emails than the number of sales that you're actually getting most likely. And if this is the case, a lot of those people may eventually convert into customers. They just might need more time. We never know their reason for not buying right away. Sometimes they love the brand, they love why it exists, they feel like the brand was meant for them, but there's just nothing yet that really resonates with them enough for them to pull out their credit card and complete a purchase. That doesn't mean that they're not going to buy from you. And I would argue that if they are subscribed to your email list, which they have to choose to subscribe to that email list, that there's a good likelihood, if you're marketing to them, that they will eventually convert. Right? So they might just be waiting. They clearly want to hear from you or they wouldn't subscribe. So they might just be waiting for the right product to come out. They might be waiting for the right time of the year. Maybe they're waiting for Black Friday. Maybe they're waiting for a special occasion. But we never know exactly why they don't buy, but a lot of them do end up converting later down the road. Not only that, if someone is part of your niche, they are very likely hanging out with who? Others that are part of the niche. So this can become really valuable around the holidays in particular, if they're getting gifts for a lot of their friends. Many times someone's going to wear that product around their friends in the same niche and they're going to comment on it and say how much they love it. And there's a chance that that person might go and buy some products from that website if they had a good experience and give those as gifts, right? So that's one way. People might see it and go and buy it themselves. The customer that bought, they might continue buying from you, especially if they're getting a lot of comments, like compliments, I should say. Who doesn't like getting compliments, right? And what you're going to notice very likely with some of your designs is when people leave a review or when they comment, a lot of times they're going to say, I get so many compliments every time I wear this. And that's fantastic. That's what you want. They are essentially going out there and marketing your products and your brand on your behalf. It's a wonderful thing. So this student, they call them fortunate, call them lucky. They knew what they were doing. Like they knew their niche very well. They clearly did some design research and they were able to create a design that absolutely took off, that absolutely hit. And this is proof that all you need is one design to take your brand, to take your business to the next level. And this is why I always tell you, this is why I always tell my students, you're always just one design away. I'm not just saying that to give you hope. This is the reality. Like this is what happened for me too. And this is what happened for so many of my other students too. And this may have even happened for you, right? Maybe you've experienced this where you drop a design and immediately you see all the indicators that this is a winner that you can scale up profitably with paid ads. That is my definition of a winning design. So when I refer to a winning design, I'm always referring to a design that you can scale up profitably at high budgets with paid ads. Sometimes you're going to run ads and they're not going to make any sales. Sometimes you're going to run ads and they're going to make a couple, but they're not profitable. Sometimes you're going to run ads and they're going to be break even or profitable at low budgets. But every time you try to increase that budget, it just goes into the red. It goes into unprofitability. If that's the case, those are not an A grade winner, what I call an A grade winner. But I'm just going to refer to it as winner, a winning design for this sake. All right. One winning design can really transform your business and transform your life. This can be the difference between seeing success in the first 30 days, like this particular individual, or it could mean it takes 3, 6, 12 months or even longer. And that's okay. Everyone is on their own journey. They're building their brand at their own pace. And you never know which design is going to be that winner for you unless you release the designs and market them to the right people. So I think this is something that's very important to know. A question that I get so often is, how long does it take to see results? And my answer is, I don't know. How long is it going to take for you to create a winning design? As soon as you can create a winning design, you can get crazy results like this student here. However, without a winning design, if you're just marketing a couple designs that just aren't making sales and you're not releasing new designs, then that's going to be a challenge, right? This is another thing that I see. I see people, they create like 10 designs and they think one of those is a winner, but all the signs are indicating that they're not a winner. So my recommendation, if that's you, is do your design research, go out there, find designs that are winning right now, that there's sales validation, a lot of sales validation right now. Use that as inspiration for your own designs and regularly be releasing new designs. This is the single biggest needle mover for any business. If you have a winning design, everything else can be mediocre. You can be in a mediocre niche. You can have a mediocre website. You can have mediocre marketing. But if you have a winning design, the sales just come so much easier. And the same doesn't work the other way around. Like, let's say you're in the most profitable niche, you have a perfect website and you have phenomenal marketing. If you don't have a winning design, sales will continue to be a struggle. I'm not saying you'll never make sales. You will. If you're doing all the things right, even if you don't have a winning design, you can still make a lot of sales. But if you want to see those quick and rapid income spikes in your business, it's creating a winning design and scaling it up profitably with the power of paid ads and email marketing that so many people are doing to do this. Now, of course, we want you to be a hit maker. I don't want you to be a one hit wonder. I don't. I want you to be a hit maker. All right. And what that means is regularly releasing winning designs. But it all starts with one. It all starts with that one. And I will say, once you create that one winning design, it tends to get easier from there. This has been my experience. Many times you can reverse engineer your own winning design and create more winning designs like it. You can create a collection by adding that design to more styles and products. You can remix the design, which means that you just alter it in some way. You can create special editions of the design. Maybe it's a certain color or there's certain elements on it for a specific holiday like Christmas or Valentine's, or there's so many holidays. Easter, there's so many Halloween. There's so many holidays that you can leverage this winning design and you can create these special editions, right? So the goal should really be first to create one winning design and experience that rapid kind of hockey stick growth. If you're doing everything right, that's exactly what it should look like. Up and to the right, that's what your sales should look like. If you look at it on a graph, up and to the right. But after you've created that winning design, you don't want to take your foot off the gas. You want to continue releasing new designs and create more winning designs. All right. So really, that's what they did. They found one winning design really early on and they had a lot of success. But I can't guarantee that for anyone because you're the one that chooses your niche, you're the one that creates your designs. And until you create a winning design, that's going to be the big needle mover, right? So that really falls on you. And what I will say that really helps, which really helps expedite the process of creating a winner, is not skimping on the design research. I am so bullish on design research. And the reason being is because I have done design research leading up to creating my own winning designs. And I've seen so many others conduct effective design research, creating their designs as well. This is, I would say, a critical component. And what I tell my students is one well researched, well validated design that you discover and you use as inspiration is more powerful than 10 designs that are totally random, totally original, and have no validation at all. So I don't want you to think that this is just a volumes game. It's not just about the quantity. Yes, with every new design you release, you have a chance of that design going viral and that leading to a huge income spike in your business. Absolutely. But it has to be quality and quantity. I see a lot of brands where they just focus on a high volume of designs and they're not even, it doesn't even seem at least like they're really thinking about the designs. They're just playing this volume game. But I would argue that if you actually allocate some of that time to find what people are buying right now, what's popular, what's trendy, what people are liking right now, and create for that demand, you're going to get to success quicker. I can't guarantee how long it's going to take because you're the one creating the designs, but really, that's what it comes down to. And the last thing I want to mention about designs, I want to be really crystal clear on this because this has been my experience, the experience of so many of my students, the experience of this particular student, and so many others. There's even data to back this up that simple designs sell. So Printify recently, they released a blog article where they looked at the design. So Printify, for anyone that doesn't know, they are one of the largest print-on-demand companies in the world. So they have a ton of sales data. And they looked at the sales data, and what they found is that over 50% of the best-selling designs, of sellers' best-selling designs, included just 1 to 2 design elements. So that could mean it was completely text-based, or that could mean that there was some text and there was some simple element as well. Over 50%. And second to that, so that dominated, but second to that, the second best performing designs had, I'm pretty sure it was just a 2 to 3 design elements. So they were very similar, just a little bit more. But this has always been my experience. And this is something I've been saying for a long time, that simple sells, simple designs sell. It was actually so nice to see data back this up, because I've just always known this. Of all the people that I know that are successful personally and my successful students and in my own experience, it's almost always the case. And this is a wonderful thing. This is a wonderful thing, because what that means is that anyone can create these simple designs. You can create these simple designs in tools, simple to use tools like Canva and Kittl. I've been able to create 6-figure designs, some of them purely text-based, some of them with text and one element. But what's funny is anytime I try to create these complex designs, most of the time they just flop for me. Now, maybe that's not your experience. Everyone's different, but the data doesn't lie. I love this quote that goes, intuition is great, but data always wins. I love making database decisions because it kind of like points you in the right direction. Success leaves clues, right? So it gives you pointers on what's successful so that you can optimize your designs, your marketing, everything for these sort of success indicators. So that's what I want to end off on the second point about creating a winning design is you're more likely for that design to be a winner if it's simple. And this is fantastic because not only can you probably create these designs yourself, but you can create these designs very quickly yourself, meaning you can release a higher volume of designs, right? I would rather you release 10 simple validated designs than one super complex design that took the same amount of time to create is all 10 of those simple ones together. You're going to have better luck on the simple ones. Even if you created one simple design to one complex design, and that complex design took 10 times longer, I would argue that you have more luck, and the data would argue that you have more luck with that simple design. So keep it simple. Remember that simple sells. All right. Part 3. So step 3 of their strategy is that they built a very simple Shopify website to sell their products and market their brand. And really, that's all you need to make sales, a simple website. This is another area that I see so many people overthink, myself included, when I first started out. So I'm speaking to myself here. A lot of these things I'm speaking to myself here too. Like I know what it's like to be making these mistakes. And I hope that this episode helps guide you in the right direction, in the right path, so you can avoid making time wasting and costly mistakes like myself and so many others did when they first started out, right? So really going back to the website, they created a simple website. It was really nice. It was a really nice website, but it was nothing crazy. It didn't have all the bells and whistles of some of the websites that we see. And it was simple. And that's one of the reasons why I love Shopify so much. So Shopify makes it very easy to create a simple website. They have free pre-made website templates that you can use. A lot of it is just drag and drop or filling in the blanks, and there's no coding or tech skills required. So I don't care if you're 17 or 70, you do not have an excuse not to create a simple Shopify website. Remember, keep it simple. All right. I really do believe that Shopify is the best platform to build your website, to build a brand. And it's what I've always used and what I recommend to all my students. We are so bullish on this that it's actually a requirement for people to join T-Shirt Legends Academy, is that they either have a Shopify website or they're going to create a Shopify website, because we know that this is the best platform for building your website and building your brand. And one of many things I love about it is that it's e-commerce first. So it has all these built-in integrations that make it so seamless for marketing, for connecting to other important tools like your print-on-demand company, for connecting to email marketing platforms. There's just so much value in it, and it is just made for selling online. That's why they exist. So going back to kind of the simplicity, really, yes, you do want your website to look professional and trustworthy. However, it doesn't have to be complicated, and it shouldn't be complicated. The focus should be on the products, not the website. It's the products that people are buying. Going back to the example before, you could have the perfect website, but if you don't have anything people want to buy, no one's going to buy. Now, reverse that. You could have a very simple, basic, pretty bare bones website. Of course, like I said, you want to be trustworthy and professional. There's certain things that you want to do, and you want to optimize it for sales. But you can do all these things while keeping it very simple. And if you have a winning design, you will make a ton of sales as long as you're marketing it, of course, right? So remember that it's the products that people are buying. They aren't buying your website. They're buying your products. So keep the focus on your products, all right? So next time you catch yourself, I'm sure I'm speaking to a lot of you right now, but next time you catch yourself obsessing over your website, I want you to remember this quote that, again, I'm speaking to myself here because I really struggle with this. I struggle with perfection. And this quote says, "Perfection is the enemy of progress." Just let that sink in for a sec. This is so true. This is so true. And so if you are a perfectionist and you're finding yourself tweaking all these little things on your website, oh, I'm going to change this button color from orange to green. I'm going to change this. No one really cares. Like, remember, what's most important is that you actually have something that people want to buy and you get that in front of them. That's it. That's it. All right. I've seen people take a year to launch their website, and I've seen people take a weekend to launch their website. And I just want you to think, like, how many sales could that fast action taker make, the one who created it over a weekend, before that other person who took a year ever even launches their website? That person is way ahead in the race. Like, they are leaving that other person in the dust. And I'm not saying that you need to create your website in a weekend. Some people can do it in a weekend. Some people can do it in a day. Some people can do it in a week. Some people can do it in a month. Everyone is on their own schedule. Everyone's building their brand and their business at their own pace, right? So if it does take you a month or two or even three, then it is what it is. Like, I love for my students, from the time they join TLA, I love for them to have their website up and launched and live within 30 days. That's my challenge to them. And the sooner, the better, because the sooner you have your website up, the sooner people can buy from you. The sooner you can start marketing your products, the sooner you can start releasing designs and try to create that winning design that transforms your brand, right? So I don't expect you to create a website in a weekend. I'm using kind of two extremes here, but my point is, the faster you can get your website up, the faster you can start making sales. And that's the goal, right? If you want to transform your business and transform your life, you need sales. That's what's going to do it, right? That's the missing element. So as soon as you get your website up, you can shift your focus to the sales generating activity, which is really three things: design research, design creation, and marketing. That's where the high majority of your time should be spent. Now, moving on to step number 4. So part 4 of this 4-part strategy that this student followed to go from 0 to over 140,000 in sales in just 6 months is that they ran paid ads to amplify their sales, and they built up an email list, many of which came from those paid ads that they could then leverage to get repeat sales. So this is something that I strongly encourage everyone to do right away if you have a winning design. Now, there are a number of ways to validate new designs, and a lot of those ways are free and low cost marketing, all right? However, what I will say is that paid ads are hands down one of the quickest ways to get validation and to identify winning designs that you can then rapidly scale up. All right. And aside from just testing for validation, really the goal, first test, find the validation. This design will look like an outlier compared to other designs. That's a great indicator that you have a winning design. But really, the magic, once you've identified the winning design in paid ads, the magic in paid ads is that they're so powerful for amplifying your reach and your sales when you have a winning design. So a common mistake that I see so many brand owners make, myself included when I first started, and it pains me because I've been there, is they burn through so much money running ads to products that people just don't want. Now, I'm not saying that there's no one out there for that product, right? There probably is. There's probably someone for every product. However, the goal of a winning design is mass appeal with your ideal customer, with your niche. You want to be able to sell thousands upon thousands upon thousands of this product to your ideal customer. All right. That's what I'm talking about when I have a winner. So what I see is I see people spend like 50, 100, 200, 300, 400, $500 on these designs that like clearly they're not winners, because you're going to get validation from paid ads, whether it's good validation or bad validation, right? Good validation is great. That's what I want for you. That's what we want. Is good validation is you make a bunch of sales, it's profitable, and you can just keep scaling up the budget. You can keep increasing the budget while remaining profitable. Now, what I see so often, though, is that people will run a large budget to a bunch of designs and they either make no sales or they make very few sales and it's highly unprofitable. Now, there definitely are secondary benefits, many of which I mentioned earlier, to running ads, even if you're not making sales. However, the goal should be always, if you're going to run paid ads to products, after you've tested them and you've got that quick validation, good or bad, it's kind of like a game of red light, green light. If one design is the star of the show and they outperform the others and it's profitable and you're making a bunch of sales, then that design is going to get the green light to put more budget behind and to reach more people, and it's likely going to make more sales. Those other designs that didn't make any sales or were highly unprofitable, those are designs that are going to get the red light. All right. So you can keep them on your website if you want, and they might make sales. They might actually sell pretty well as secondary products, right? But if you run ads to them and they are not break even or profitable, then I strongly recommend stop wasting your money on those designs. Once you've got the validation from testing, don't waste any more money on these designs. Focus on testing new designs that you can get validation for, identify the winning design, and grow that, scale that. When I mean scale, I just mean ramp that design up. So ramp up the marketing so that you can amplify the reach and amplify the sales. That's what I mean by scaling. So I want you to think about the power of paid ads like this. If you can get a winning design that you create in front of 100 cat lovers. Let's say you're in the cat niche. You get in front of 100 cat lovers and it makes a number of sales. That's fantastic validation. But imagine how many sales you could make if you got that same design in front of 100,000 cat lovers. That's the difference. That is what paid advertising can do for you. You can get in front of tens of thousands of people, tens of thousands of your ideal customer very quickly. And by quickly, I'm talking like 24 hours here. Obviously, that depends on your budget, but if you have a winning design, you should be able to run paid ads at a high daily budget to that design, and it should still remain profitable. All right, that's really the goal. We want to amplify our reach and in turn amplify our sales. So if we get that small amount of validation from a free or a low cost channel or from running low budget paid ads, that's the validation that's going to turn on the green light and allow you to, okay, now it's time to really amplify this and get this in front of a lot more people. And that is what this student is doing. So they identified their winning design very early on and they scaled it up fast and hard with paid advertising. They use Meta ads, which I strongly believe is definitely the best paid ads platform in 2024 for print on demand and apparel businesses. Most people will agree with it. If you talk to a lot of other people that have success, most of them, this is the platform that they're using. And this is what I recommend everyone do. Test it with Meta ads. All right. Test your designs, scale up the winning designs fast and hard. And the reason I say that is because most of the momentum is usually within the first few months of creating a winning design. This is when it's new, when it's fresh, everyone's seen it for the first time. So this is the time where you really, really want to scale up that winning design and just squeeze all the juice out of that design, all right? Before it gets fatigued, before everyone's seen it, and possibly before people try to steal it and, now you have some copycats, right? We don't like that. That's not what we encourage. You're not those people, but there are unethical people out there who they just look for winning designs that they can steal outright and try to make sales from. So I know that that's not you, but the only reason I mention this is just more reason that you want to scale fast and hard right out of the gate when you do have that winning design. Not only is this going to help you and this student here who I'm talking about, not only is it going to help them reach a ton of people in their niche and make a lot of sales, but it's also allowing them to collect a lot of email addresses, which I always say the fortune is in the follow-up. No one really talks about it, but it's true. I wish it was a more interesting topic for people, and I wish people paid more attention to it. I don't talk about it too much because it seems to bore people, but if you're someone that's benefiting from all those high profit back-end sales that you can get from email marketing, you know what I'm talking about. You probably love email marketing. You probably absolutely love it. And as you collect these email addresses, this allows you to remarket to your customers and turn them into repeat purchasers. This is a wonderful thing. Email marketing is so powerful because it's a very low cost marketing channel compared to paid advertising. And what that means is that you're going to make more profit per sale from your email marketing. Not only that, it's easier to get someone to purchase again who has already purchased from you than it is to get someone to purchase for the first time, because that person already knows they like your brand. They've already received one of your products. They already know the quality. They already know your brand's legit. They know it's not a scam. So the trust is built. Like, they are going to be very comfortable purchasing a second time. And don't be surprised when you see someone purchase one t-shirt and then within a week or two, they place another order, sometimes much bigger. Maybe they're just testing it out to make sure that all of this is legit, right? But that is actually quite common to get repeat sales in a very short time frame. The nice thing about it too is that statistically, most people do not purchase the first time they see a product or the first time they visit a website. So if we can incentivize them to give us their email so that we can remarket to them, meaning we can continue sending them emails with our amazing products, they are significantly more likely to convert into a customer versus just running ads and only ever getting in front of them once. Now, all you're relying on is impulse buys. And yes, you'll make a lot of impulse buys, but a lot of people won't. A lot of people just won't. That's just not how their brain is wired. And who knows what's going on? Maybe they love it, but they're going to wait a couple weeks for some reason. Who knows why? Maybe they're waiting for their next payday to make a big purchase, right? That's why it's our job as sellers and marketers to continue marketing our products. The nice thing too is once you've driven them to your website and got them interested in one of your products, let's just call it your winning design, whether they purchase it or not, we can show them other products. And if you've done a good job of, quote, niching down and all your products are created with your ideal customer in mind, well, there's a good argument to be made that every product is in theory relevant to them, right? Now, there's some variations to that. Maybe some will be for females, some will be for males, but every product is about that niche. So they're going to take interest in that many times because they're passionate about that niche. So that is the step-by-step strategy. I want to take a minute real quick just to recap that strategy because we talked about a lot here. All right. So let's just break down the strategy, the 4-step strategy. All right. So the first thing this student did is they chose a profitable niche and they created all of their products and all of their content for that specific niche, for their ideal customer. Secondly, they created a winning design. They were fortunate, but I'm not going to chalk it up to luck. This is just work on their part. They created a winning design, and I'm so happy for them. And they created it very early on, which allowed them to scale up very quickly with the power of paid ads. All right. Third, they built a simple Shopify website to sell their products and market their brand. And lastly, they ran paid ads to amplify their sales and build up an email list that they can leverage to encourage repeat sales. So that is it for the strategy. That is really it in a nutshell in 60 seconds or less. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, I recommend checking out my free 90-minute training on how to make your first $10,000 with Shopify and print on demand. That is where this student started. They joined T-Shirt Legends Academy, and the rest is really history. So if you do want to check out that free training, you can just click on the link below in the show notes or by going to ecomlegendsacademy.com/grow. So thank you so much for listening. Stay awesome. Go out there and take action. And remember that you're always just one design away. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Print on Demand Playbook podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us an honest review on whichever platform you're listening from. We really appreciate it, and it helps us reach more ambitious individuals just like you. So thank you in advance, and we will talk very soon.